Good morning. My name is Father Rayappa. I'm in the village called Kattupadi near Vellore, South India. I'm going to talk about Misericordiae Vultus, a document written by Pope Francis at the inauguration of the Jubilee Year of Mercy 2016. So I'm going to read paragraph number 6, in which Pope Francis states, and he quotes St. Thomas Aquinas. He says that God's mercy, it is not a sign of weakness, but it is the mark of His omnipotence. Mercy is not a weakness, it's a power, it's an energy, it's an omnipotence. That's beautiful. And Pope is discussing about Psalms. What do Psalms say about mercy? The merciful God. I mean, there are a number of Psalms. They talk about God's compassion and mercy. And patient and merciful. That is the word very often we hear from the Psalms. God is patient and merciful. And Pope is saying that, he is quoting Psalm number 103, verses 3 to 4, in which it states, He forgives all your iniquity, He heals all your diseases, He redeems your life from the pit, He crowns you with steadfast love and mercy. And Pope is also quoting another two Psalms, Psalm number 146 and 147. In 147, verse 3 and 6, it states, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. The Lord lifts up the downtrodden, He casts the wicked to the ground. So, in short, the mercy of God is not an abstract idea, but it's a concrete reality, isn't it? So these three Psalms I want to recommend you. Psalm number 103, Psalm number 146 and 147. You can read it for yourself. And another Psalm, 136, is the best. That is the Psalm. That is the great Hallel. It expresses God's mercy and compassion without any limit. So Psalm 136, Pope is discussing on the in the 7th paragraph of Misericordiae Vultus. I already made a segment. It is in the YouTube, and you can watch it. Just type Rayappa Misericordiae Vultus para 7, and you will be watching my comment on 136 Psalm. So, but now I'm going to read paragraph number 6 from Misericordiae Vultus, in which Pope is writing about St. Thomas Aquinas and also the message of mercy in the Psalms. Pope Francis writes as follows in Misericordiae Vultus, paragraph number 6. It is proper to God to exercise mercy, and He manifests His omnipotence particularly in this way. St. Thomas Aquinas' words show that God's mercy, rather than a sign of weakness, is the mark of His omnipotence. For this reason, the liturgy, in one of its most ancient collects, asks us pray, O God, who reveal your power above all in your mercy and forgiveness. Throughout the history of humanity, God will always be the one who is present, close, provident, holy, and merciful. Patient and merciful. These words often go together in the Old Testament to describe God's nature. His being merciful is concretely demonstrated in His many actions throughout the history of salvation, where His goodness prevails over punishment and destruction. In a special way, the Psalms bring to the fore the grandeur of His merciful action. He forgives all your iniquity, He heals all your diseases, He redeems your life from the pit, He crowns you with steadfast love and mercy. Psalm 103 verses 3 to 4. Another psalm, in an even more explicit way, attests to the concrete signs of his mercy. He executes justice for the oppressed. He gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets the prisoners free. The Lord opens the eyes of the blind. The Lord lifts up those who are bowed down. The Lord loves the righteous. The Lord watches over the sojourners. He upholds the widow and the fatherless, but the way of the wicked he brings to ruin. Psalm 146 verses 7 to 9. Here are some other expressions of the psalmist. He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. The Lord lifts up the downtrodden. He casts the wicked to the ground. Psalm 147 verses 3 and 6. In short, the mercy of God is not an abstract idea, but a concrete reality with which he reveals his love as of that of a father or a mother, moved to the very depths out of love for their child. It is hardly an exaggeration to say that this is a visceral love. It gushes forth from the depths of nature, full of tenderness and compassion, indulgence and mercy. Wow! That is what Pope writes in the paragraph number 6 of Misericordiae Vultus. Again, the same word tenderness that captures the attention of Pope Francis. He always talks about tenderness. In Evangelii Gaudium, in Laudato Si, in Lumen Fidei, all these encyclicals, and again and again and again, he talks about tenderness, tenderness. In other words, it's compassion, it is mercy. So human beings, full of tenderness. So that is the part we need to concentrate. But so far as Homo sapiens, if we examine our past history, I'm afraid that we didn't give any room for tenderness. We gave room for violence and anger, manipulation, legislation, justice, all these issues. But tenderness nullifies all that. Tenderness simply blots away everything. Tenderness just without any impediment. There is no impediments at all. It travels all the way. It travels all the way. So Pope Francis is right when he talks about tenderness. It's a human resource. Let us use it. Okay, please read Misericordiae Vultus, article number 6, and I wish you all a happy Jubilee Year of Mercy 2016. Thank you. God bless.